Can you tell I'm nervous? Really, really nervous.
Okay. It's going to be so good. I'm not even worried even a little bit. I'm not nervous at all. Okay.
You are,
ready?
motherfucker. On the other side. I'm never on the other side. Okay.
All right. Hello, my lovely. You got to where you are by flying the plane. Oh, there we go already. Here we do. Hello, my lovely. You got to where you are by flying the plane while you were building it. You may have a VA or a small team, but you still feel invisible and have this small voice way down in the back of your mind that says, "Who the fuck do you think you are to do blank?" You also know that the women changing the effing world have never been the ones who are busy trying to fit in. So if you're listening to this podcast, it's because some part of you already knows that what got you to this point is not going to get you to where you're going next. You also may be raw dogging accidental success, trying to force your technicolor brain into strategies built for people who don't have wiring like yours. And you are so done building a business where you abandon yourself and your nervous system in the fucking process. You are allowed to stay a feral woman and run a calm business. And maybe for the first time since ADHD came onto your radar or your diagnosis, you are finally starting to realize that who you are was not the thing standing in your way of business growth. The problem has been strategies that came from the normie business coaching industry instead of how your brain works. You need a simplified business plan, the self-trust to execute it, and to get the support of a coach who gets your brain, the nuance of business growth for ADHD humans and how it all marries together. That's Carrie. You need to stop rebuilding your entire offer suite every 6 months because you're secretly terrified you can't keep or sustain your current revenue. You do not need to become quieter, smaller, more polished, less emotional, less ambitious, less intense, less weird, more digestible to be successful. You need to trust yourself enough to build because your unrepeatable stack of genius is how you stand out on a fucking sea of sameness. And to be clear, your ADHD ass hyper-focusing, pattern recognizing, deeply feeling, and never stop thinking brain is your unfair fucking advantage. If this intro has you nodding along, good. That means you found your people. Welcome to Carrie's cult. She has stickers.
Boom!
One final thing. Becoming visible and growing sustainably means no more Miss People Pleaser, no more hiding your Ferrari brain, no more dimming down jack shit. And if you've ever been told to tone it down as a woman with late diagnosed ADHD, it is time to tone your shit all the way the fuck back up to an 11. Because that, sweet baby angel, is how you create unstoppable momentum in your business, gain new clients, visibility, and do whatever the fuck you put your mind to. You were not born to be forgettable. And as one of my favorite quotes says, well-behaved women rarely make history, and nothing about you or me is well-behaved, at least not anymore.
That is so wild to hear. Okay.
Ooh, I'm dry.
You're like, that part took an hour and a half, Carrie. And you do that
It's
every
so
time.
good. I love it. It's so good. You can feel it, the goosey bumpies. It happens.
I got goosies. All right. Okay.
Welcome to the ADHD Entrepreneur podcast, episode 200. I'm Brooke, and I'm going to be your host today. And honestly, I still can't believe that I get to be the one sitting in this seat for this milestone. 200 episodes. 200 times that Carrie has shown up, been real, been brave, and refused to play by the fucking rules. But here's the thing about Carrie that maybe you don't know if you're new here. She does all of that for you while also showing up fiercely for the people she loves. Over the past year, she's become one of those rare friendships in my life where distance doesn't matter because the connection runs so deep. She's been my coach, my business confidant, and a true friend. We've sat with each other's struggles, celebrated each other's wins, and built something that feels like it's going to last a lifetime. And today, I get to celebrate her with you. Not just as the powerhouse entrepreneur and podcast host that you know, but as the woman who's changed my life and many others by being so unapologetically herself. Carrie, this episode is all for you.
You could make me cry, bitch.
Uh, just one box.
This is fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Carrie,
Oh my
my
God.
friend,
Yeah.
my dear sweet baby angel.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yes.
200 episodes in. You're 200 episodes in. And I
That's
just want you
nuts.
to sit for a second and let that sink in because, like, how fucking cool.
It's wild. Straight up wild.
It's amazing. So, I want to know, when you recorded episode 1, did you ever actually think that you'd be sitting here at 200 episodes?
No fucking way. No way. No way. Anxious Carrie, who's like, well, I guess maybe I'll see what happens here. That girl. Oh man, because creating the podcast, I had a friend of mine who became a coach, a mentor. And literally the joke was she set my hair on fire, put me in a cannon and we shot this podcast out in 5 weeks. And now what's funny is I look back and I'm like, oh, well, that took a long time. Now I'm like, I can do it faster, but that wasn't the point. It was
Right.
group. It was like, I really didn't know a lot about a lot. So, but I have the necklace from that. That's my extra necklace that you guys see all the time, was from when I created the podcast, was when I got that. So,
That is awesome.
yeah, it was just, it was, yeah, I would never believe 200 episodes. No way. Mm-mm.
Well, here we are sitting at 200. I love it so much. What feels different now from episode 1 compared to sitting here now? What's the difference emotionally? What you feeling?
I'm lighter. I'm a lighter person. I used to always feel like, I don't know if you remember the cartoon, but there's this cartoon where this cloud always followed the guy. It was raining on him. Wherever he went, the cloud was raining. I'm like, metaphor galore right there. But I always felt like that. And then one day that lifted and I haven't seen it since. And part of me is like, but it could come back. It's like, bitch, it's been over 3 years. This is not good. No. Like, these things that are happening, a lot of these things they're sticking because a lot of things I do is rooted also in science. So I make sure that it sticks,
Well, what I can see, I don't know if I've ever listened to episode 1. I'll be honest. That's something I can admit. I did.
You're all, and here we are. Yes.
You know me in podcasts. That's just the way we
Yeah,
are.
no.
But anyway,
Hey, it's okay. Honestly.
I have listened to your past episodes, many of them, and I can hear the difference in you. I can hear the confidence difference in you. And I, just like your 30 days series that ended up being, that was so great, by the way. You started something and you weren't sure or confident and comfortable in it, and to look at you now, like, the difference is vast. 100% recommend listening to an episode in the past and coming back here and be like, who's that Carrie?
Seriously. Oh, you mean the part where I dropped that I got an ADHD diagnosis and then didn't talk about it, I think, for 17 weeks, basically. Like, this happened. No, it didn't. Just like.
Let's talk about that for just a minute. I want to take you back before that, though. I want to talk about before the diagnosis, before you knew what was going on in your head. You mentioned all the time that you burned down 2 6-figure businesses before you got where you are today. So I want to go back there. To start with, just what were you chasing back then? What dream were you building back then?
My own thing that nobody had to say over me about. Like, my autonomy. Like, I would rather spend 80 hours a week on my own business in the hours that I want to spend than spend 30 or 20 or even 10 hours anywhere being required to be there. And I don't know if that's just the rebellious side. We literally have this thing in our wiring that's like, rebel, so I don't know if that's it, but I am relentless, and I am designed to be relentless and tenacious, not to grow somebody else's company. I'm meant to grow my own.
So even back then, before the diagnosis, you were like, I know something at least is that's not the word. I know something at least is off with having to work for somebody else.
I knew at 15. I knew at 15. Yeah, I joined the Entrepreneurs Club. It was called DECA. It was basically entrepreneurship, how to interview others, how to create a resume, how to create a business plan. I was 15 years old going to competitions dressed in a fucking blazer, whole black and white checkered bad boy. I have pictures of 80s hair galore. But all that aside, I always thought it was back when I had my first business. And then one day I was like, oh my God, started in fucking high school. So
Oh my gosh,
it's
that's
gone back
funny.
far. And then in my very first business, I ended up mentoring other women because people who I knew or friends of mine or people who came in and saw, like, they're like, what are you doing? Because average sales for the first year in real estate is 2. I did 20. Of course I
That's
did, because
amazing.
overachiever, right? That's
Mm.
part of the problem also. So we'll get there at another point. But yeah, no, I just kept going until I couldn't anymore. And it was just, I didn't know why. I was like, why am I hitting this wall? Why am I hitting this wall again? Like, I felt like, am I just dumb? I'm pretty
Mhm.
self-aware, and not just self-aware, but I do things about things, not just like, I'm so self-aware of my patterns. Like, I'm aware of my patterns, and also here are the things I am doing. Like, I'm an
Right.
active participant in that, but not always doing the work. But I don't know. I've always felt like a job, like capital JOB, where I had to clock in was like hard no.
Yeah.
But I started very, very, very young. That could also have a lot to do with it. Very young.
Well, that's cool. I think so many of us will be able to relate to that. Me for sure. Many
Mhm,
listeners, I'm sure.
mhm.
So, but back then, like I said, you didn't know you had a diagnosis.
No.
And so you decided you were going to work for other people. So you started
Mhm,
building your own thing.
mhm.
What was showing up for you? You said, I felt dumb. Like, what was tripping you up? Because I can relate to that feeling. You
I
didn't have
was
language for it yet. So what did it feel like? What were you thinking?
wondering why I couldn't produce the way others could. Again, with that singular focus, thinking like, I have to do it all. If I
Mm.
don't do it all, if I don't build all of this. And in my first real estate practice, I did end up having an assistant, right? So he did all of you ready to laugh? The admin, the paperwork, the behind the scene. Oh my God, this is coming to me right now in real time. Oh, fuck.
Life-changing
Boom.
moments with Carrie.
So he did that. And I was the face. I was the front person.
Mm.
I was the one who knew the real estate market front and back. He knew the documents. I knew the contracts. I learned them, and then I get to hand it over. Right?
Mm.
Sound familiar? So I learned it and did it all myself for the first few years, and then brought him in and had my biggest year ever. And so in today's money, it would be like 500,000. That was my biggest
Amazing.
year. Mhm.
Amazing.
But then I fucking hit the skids, man.
So my next question was going to be to ask you what stories you were telling yourself in that point in time. But I already heard one and I want to point
Mhm.
it out.
Okay.
You were saying that you felt like you couldn't produce like other people, but people were literally coming to you, Carrie. And I know that you meant back end stuff. I know that you meant the day to day,
Mhm.
but isn't it funny that all of that, I mean, you were producing you had 20 sales in a year and people
My
were like
first year.
literally tell me
Yeah.
everything because how are you doing this?
Yeah.
So that's definitely a story you're telling yourself. You saw
Yeah.
people being able to execute in the background
Yeah.
differently than you do.
Yeah. Essentially what it boils down to is I just thought it was me. I thought that I was not efficient enough, or, even though I was producing way more than the average, I still didn't see it as above average. That's like a lie
Mhm.
that those a-hole brain gremlins tell us that are not rooted in truth. It's rooted in some other part of our life that we haven't even tapped into, like understanding that that has a lot to do with it. And the other part is not realizing you're contending with something, and also having that feeling like your whole life, like, there is some fucking black box in me. I can't get to it. Like, I can't, what is in here?
Mm.
And then one day they're like, here you go. I was like, oh, okay. Well, fucking A, like that was what diagnosis really, felt like. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
So all this time you were feeling like you didn't fit in boxes. You were trying to create your own box. And even when you were in that box, it still felt like you weren't quite hitting all the notes that you're supposed to hit once you're in the box.
Well, yeah,
Um,
you know, and looking the part,
yeah.
buying the suits.
Mm.
I would not
Did you
wear
like
skirts.
suits?
I refused. I refused skirting. I'm like hard no. I would have a black blazer, like a black jacket, black slacks,
Mm.
and a white or some kind of blouse. That was my garb, and then like either boots or very low chunky heels.
I love it.
Never been like a high heel type of chick, you know. But
I was
I
once and it wrecked my ankles, so I hear you. Don't do it. It's bad for you.
no, no, no. But that was never me.
Yeah.
But I also think I did some of that to be unattractive. I think that might have been
Hmm.
part of it.
Uh, what I do want to come back to, because you're talking about your diagnosis now.
Yes.
So you have an entire episode where you literally were diagnosed on this podcast. I mean, not on it, but
Yeah.
you reflected back through the episodes. You have a before, you
Yes.
have a during, and you have
Yes.
an after.
Yeah.
And I love that. So episode, is it 59?
I think it's 43, 42, 43 when I'm like, surprise, here's what happened.
Mhm.
It was a double episode week because I
Mm.
let myself have a week to process it all, of course.
Right.
And then and then 59 was when I finally came out of what I call my dark night of the soul, my 4-month dark night of the soul, and found my way out and really started finding my sea legs in coaching women like me. And it's been uphill ever since. And I mean that like a good way.
That's awesome. So we're gonna
Yeah.
link those down in the show notes, so they'll be down there for people to listen to,
Yeah.
because you should
Yes, for
listen to the
sure.
whole story for sure.
Hmm.
But what I'm curious about today is those moments after.
Hmm.
You've talked about them a little bit before,
Hmm.
but I know there's grief, there's anger, there's
Yeah.
relief, and all of those things were happening real time while you're running a business. Just
Mm.
tell us about that. What was that like?
Oh my gosh. I sought my assessment and I was refused my assessment for over a year plus before I finally got sent. And I remember getting my result and feeling relief was like immediate, like, I knew it, you know, haha. And then after that, I was like, huh, huh. And it sunk in. And I was like, wait, it is 3 months. It was 3 months before my 50th birthday. 50, like half of a century, right? A little less than. I had this thing that pushed against how I function in the world in a way that it felt I could not understand. I remember I have a friend of mine who I've had since I was young. And he said to me one time, he's like, you get somewhere and you get really good at it, and then you just do something else.
Mhm.
I'm sure a bunch of you are nodding right now, my multi-passionate ladies, you know, like I was, but he said that to me, and I remember feeling like he may as well have punched me in the face.
Mm.
Being punched in the face would have felt better than that. And that was the moment where I went, wow, this is a person who loves me to my core, who's known me since I was young, and he's saying that about me.
Mm.
Well,
Because there's a lot of shame in that, and there shouldn't be, but man, do we feel it.
yeah, and he's a special ed teacher. So
Mm.
you would think he would understand that maybe, you know, that was a category I fell into, which was the learning disability, which is what and I'm just like, oh, but I remember feeling so affected by it. And what's funny is I don't anymore. But in the moment, I remember at that time going, yeah, what is wrong with me? Because I will kiss her. And I realize what it is now is it's not what was wrong with me. It was one, I needed every single solitary piece of experience I had up to now to be able to do the work I do now for my clients, the way that I do it, the way that I see it over the spanning of 20 something years, right? Every single thing had to happen the way it did because now I have all the knowledge that I need, 27 years worth of that. So all of those lefts and rights and pivots and shit I took, who fucking cares? I can jump in your business and do so many things. I basically ask to be paid for the things that come easiest to me. That's what I ask to be paid the most for, because you can't duplicate it. AI can't duplicate it. Nothing can duplicate it because it's 27 years of experience. But I just remember feeling so ashamed. And then the moment I got the diagnosis, I was like, oh, I love me, because look what I did. I got here with basically information missing, like coding in your computer, just a chunk of coding missing for like the first half of the life of your computer. And then all of a sudden you get to plug in the rest and you're like, oh, it looks so much better. This operating system is so much more smooth. That's how it feels, like you plug into your life finally.
Yeah. You're trying to put a puzzle together with two different boxes.
Like, why won't these pieces fit? I felt like I was like on the worst episode of Survivor, and if I didn't do the puzzle, I was going to have to make fire, and I just didn't want to do that. So I was like, I just want the puzzle pieces to fit, Jeff. So it just, I just felt like I'm like, something is missing. I don't understand it. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? I've said that internally so many times.
Well, now that you know you have your diagnosis, and I mean, that it's pretty phenomenal that you were able to do all that with only half the puzzle pieces, right? What would you want to say to you who was feeling, inadequate or shameful or whatever prior to that diagnosis? What message would you give her?
I think if you go back and read every piece of content I've ever written, you'll see her everywhere. She's all up in there. I write to her all the time, But what I would say is, your stick-to-itiveness and your belief that everything is figure-outable, that everything can be figured out, will get you further than any skill you can possibly imagine. And keep being a super connector and keep staying open to people, even if they, think you have a motive or they think you want something from them. Like, because eventually they'll understand, no, that isn't it. It's for networking or community, comparing business war stories. Like, there's so many reasons to communicate with other people. And I just, staying positive and doing those things is just something that it's always been part of who I was. So I think I just pulled down a lot of walls and let all of that come out more lately than ever, which you've seen in real time on the backside with you, and also in my business, from seeing it from where we should take a look and see, like, when you started working not for me, but with me, because I don't feel like you work for me at all. You for sure work with me. To now, I wonder what that first. We'll have to look.
Do some digging. As long as it doesn't involve numbers, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can go in the back end of Kajabi. Just put your name in. That's gonna be my best bet. I see when you subscribe, but because that's when you came in the sisterhood before it was the sisterhood, when it was ADHD Entrepreneur Office Hours, like one of the OGs. So,
and it's been good every step of the way. I love it so much.
Well, hey, you had to stay for all the iterations. Like, you did that. You didn't have to.
When now I need to know how it goes.
I got to see how it ends. Or not ends, but how it grows, Yeah.
Right. What comes next?
How it evolves.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I love it. Okay. So I'd like to hear how, we talked a little bit about this at the beginning, but how the ADHD Entrepreneur podcast came to life, because I know that when you were diagnosed, it was, it was called, or before you were diagnosed, it was called something else. You evolved with it, during it, after it, middle of it, all the things. We heard what made you pick up the microphone 200 years ago, but how has it evolved since then? 200 years ago, 200 episodes. Jesus.
It fucking feels like 200 years ago some days. I swear to God, Rookie.
One episode a year with Gary.
Oh,
Shoot.
we're not cutting that out, baby. Okay.
Do you need me to
200.
repeat
Okay.
the question 200 years ago?
Please repeat my 200 years ago. 200. Okay. Yeah. Repeat it.
Yeah. What we heard why you picked up the phone, not your phone. Someone told you
Yeah.
to do it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Basically, they forced you in a
Mhm.
canon.
Mhm.
But it evolved. It didn't start as
No.
ADHD Entrepreneur. What was it
Mm-mm.
before? And where has it come?
So I used to go live a lot, and I did a thing called Women Out Loud where I would talk to women in business about what it was like being a woman in business. What were the challenges? What were the like good parts to it, all of that. And I'm like, ooh, that'll be a good name for the podcast, Women Out Loud. So when you go listen to episode 1, if you really want a good laugh, you ready? I'm going to impersonate myself. This is Gary from Women Out Loud. Who the fuck is this bitch? So
I love it.
it makes me laugh, but I left it. I leave it all for a reason. It's all there so that anybody who's in the beginning sees like, oh, I'm going to leave the beginning up and tell them directly where the beginnings are. So I had almost, would say a couple weeks prior, changed it to the anxious entrepreneur, like weeks before the diagnosis. So I had just changed it. Like,
Right.
shit.
That's what we all have. Anxiety. It's not anything else.
Well, I believed high functioning anxiety, AKA not looking like you're anxious while the inside is a scrambled mess,
Yes.
is actually a symptom of undiagnosed ADHD. And so is depression. Those are two symptoms that go missed because they get diagnosed as something else instead of being symptoms of the underlying thing. So yeah, it was just eventually I realized I'm like, okay, this is the demographic I'm going to be helping. I know this for a fact. I knew it the day I got diagnosed. I just didn't know what it meant because I remember getting diagnosed. Oh, I think that was from earlier. I remember getting diagnosed and thinking almost immediately after like the first couple of things, thinking, what does this mean to my business? Number, like probably second or third thought was like, oh my gosh, I'm relieved. Oh my gosh, my doctor didn't fucking send me. I knew it this whole time. And then, wait, what does this mean for my business? What does this mean now? Oh shit. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what this means.
We wrap up because we love our business so much, because what we do is so much of us.
Yes.
Our identities are wrapped up in this thing. So you had an identity like shift.
Oh yeah.
A big old smack across the face with a here's
Publicly.
your diagnosis. Yeah. And so I can imagine that was really like, high importance in your head at that time.
I did not know what content to create. I didn't know what offers I wanted to have. I didn't know what it was going to mean to how I did anything and everything. I didn't know what it was going to mean medication wise. I didn't know. I knew nothing. All I knew was I got confirmation of what I knew to be true. And then I hadn't thought past there. And now I was in the past time. And so after those 4 months, it was like, it's on, because I realized how much I had done up to that point and how far I had gotten, and how if there are more women like myself out there talking about this shit and saying you're only being stopped by the shit you allow yourself to be stopped by. And we all do. Okay. I'm not saying this is like exclusive to just neurodivergent people, but at the end of the day, I have heard more and more the last few weeks. I am in my, here's the exact phrasing. You ready?
Yeah.
I am tired of my own bullshit.
Oh, weird. I think I said
I
that.
am so, you and every other, okay. I'm tired of my own bullshit. I just need to get out of my fucking way and ask for help. I would do whatever I need to do to get the help if you would just tell me what to do. And I'm laughing because if you go back and listen episode after episode after episode after episode, back, you're going to hear me say that shit all throughout. And it's just awesome every time when a new person comes in and sees the trajectory of where their business can go. And not only that, they see the road to get there is something they can execute. They're like, oh, you mean, okay. And then they don't believe it. They don't believe it. And then we have a client, like a mutual client of ours, and she's like, I just kept expecting, like, she just keeps expecting more friction. And I'm like, no, just go out and fucking have conversations. We took those first 30 days and put that foundation up nice and strong. Go build more scaffolding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, am I supposed to be doing something? It's like, no, girl, you're overdoing. Go do less. That's why you're here. Go do less.
Go do less. I
Go
love
do
that.
less.
That should be a tagline for sure. Do
Mhm.
less.
Yeah, we get white space back. We think, how can I fill it? Business. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well, that comes from programming, and our brains don't exist in that programming, so we
No.
need to just turn that off.
Yeah.
'Cause,
So
it's not easy.
yeah. Well, no, but if you're doing something kind of a little bit back to neuroscience
Yeah.
too, like you're like doing some kind of pattern interruptions, which is one of the
Yes.
things I'm doing with this client is a little bit of a pattern interrupt, because the mind automatically goes to do something for my business. The whole reason she hired me was to do less for her business so she could read certain types of science and articles. And I'm like, so did you do that yet? Because you've been with me for about 3 months now. She's like, no. I'm like, fired. Double dog dare. She's like, oh, don't pull that out. It's my best coaching tool.
We
Was
keep
so
finding
good.
things to put in there, and we will
Mhm.
continually find
Mhm.
things to put in that white
Mhm.
space. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so over your 200 episodes, have
Yes.
you had a favorite moment or conversation?
Jesus.
I know there's so many. I
You're
know there's so
asking me
many.
to go into my working memory. I was saying to somebody, I was like, I can tell you a song from a fruit roll-up jingle from 1986 with chimpanzees on a bus.
Yes.
But do not ask me what the last 10 podcast episodes were about, because I don't know. I'd have to
So
go
funny.
look. To go look.
Well, there's this
So
added layer of like, there's a million things you've loved over all this time. You don't
I
want to
know.
miss one either. So,
I
like,
know.
answering that question so finitely is also like going
Yes.
against every neurodivergent cell in your body.
Yes.
Um,
I know.
but I know that you have had a couple of episodes that I remember that you came to me after and be like, oh my gosh, Brooke, it was so good. And just off the top of my head, you had a series
Mhm.
that you did that did so well. And why didn't I not write
The
this down?
anti-framework playbook.
The anti-framework
This
playbook.
it was like 6 or
series.
7 series. Yeah.
Freaking amazing. Those were so good. You had an episode with a client who told you what kind of shift she's had in her business in
Yeah.
real time, and that was a big one for you.
Mhm. I think that the 2 that do come to the top of my head are Dr. Regina and Ashley. Yeah, those 2 episodes where my clients came in because I know why. I know why I loved those episodes so much, because something was a surprise to me. Like, I mean, usually what comes out of my mouth is also a surprise to me, but I'm not talking about that surprise that I deal with every
Right.
day. Surprise, I said that. But they gave me insight from their side. They had in their mind where they were thinking it. They're verbalizing internal things they were thinking or feeling, and it was so cool that I did not know most of it, because I heard it in real time. My reaction is in freaking real time. It's all captured there. So, because one of the hardest things to get across to somebody looking at a business mentor, a coach, somebody who's coming into the deep water with them is, what are they actually like? Like, when I hire you, are you actually going to follow through on the things you say you're going to do or not? Well, I have a testimonial from Ashley saying, one of the things you told me out of the gate was you're going to do everything you say you do, and you did. So if I have a client who has a question about that, I can have her talk to Ashley. It's like I have these things, but those and the episode where I hired my mentor that I just finished some time with. And the way I felt
Mm.
after making that payment, and I talked about it and how that payment came right back to me like almost immediately, like within 24 hours. That was fucking nuts. That was a crazy story. So I
Yeah,
would say that, and that's inside the money series. So I have that money series of 4.
that was a really good one too.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, those are for sure the client ones, because those have a lot of things from the client perspective that I have only experienced on my end with my own mentors. I can't do that myself. So.
I'm seeing something happen right now. Maybe we don't leave this in, maybe we don't. But
Mhm.
remember, we had a conversation a while back about how you needed to put some more feeling into some of your
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Um, every single time you've described one of these episodes, it's because of how they made you feel,
Mhm,
and not the content you put in, not the hopes you have for them, but the
mhm,
way that they made you feel
mhm,
and the impact they had on you that way. And
mhm.
I believe that that is something that's really important for you to receive and give.
Mm,
I think that making sure someone else gets to feel those incredibly positive emotions
mhm,
around their ADHD, the incredible positive
mhm.
experience that they have with you is really
Yeah.
important to you. And that's just kind of a neat observation that I love that about you.
Thanks, and it
Yeah.
was just nice to have that feedback, like, I have my feedback form, my
Yeah.
feedback form has some great stuff, but it's different when you're in like the moment conversation. They're like, "Oh, I didn't tell you, but when papa doot to do, papa deep doop," and then I'm like, "Give me a tissue," because it's something I didn't know. And I feel, to me, like it's important that anybody who's considering hiring me knows that I am very like strong in my knowledge, but I have this really marshmallowy heart, and it comes out kind of together at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
I know if you need the frying pan of love, but I can tell your energy's off. I'm not fucking doing that. I'm just
Mhm.
not like, so there's some intuition behind it. And I think I'm even more in tune with it just because it's with fellow women like me. So I understand over time and working with you guys each more and more what
Mhm.
you need, and not pivoting who I am to be what you need, but making sure that I give you what you need in a way that you process the best. And usually it's just a couple of things. So it's very simple to do it across the board. And those are the little things that matter to me. Like when a client has everything all in one hub and they're like, it's all in one place, the
Mhm.
link to their drive in Google. I can't find it. Great. Go in your hub. Can't find the password. Great. Reset a new password. Done. Just don't forget my carryoutloud.com. Like that's it. Like you're like, I want to make it simple, not because you're dumb, not
Yeah.
because you're incapable, not because you're inept, but because you're fucking human. And you're
Yeah.
running all kinds of things, your life and your business with a brain that doesn't always fire correctly for what we wish it would do, and being able to aim our attention. We don't have a problem with attention. We have a
Mm.
problem aiming it sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That is so cool. You already answered another couple of questions I had on my sheet. And I was going to ask you what your listeners have taught you. And I think that that's what
Oh,
your clients have taught you.
yeah.
Um, but anything else you can think of in that vein? Something else you've learned from your people who listen to the podcast?
I would say my clients and people who listen to the podcast is that I am correct when I say that working with somebody who has a neurodivergent brain like yours truly makes a difference
Mhm.
in your business. Not saying that for marketing. Okay. Like, I have seen this happen enough times. I have seen it not predictably, but almost predictably have a flow of like the different points of where they are when my clients work with me, and just knowing, okay, what's coming next. And It's not that it's predictable. For me, it's fun because I know it's simply pattern recognition, and getting to see them have those moments is like
Mm.
there's nothing like it because they finally don't feel like an idiot after maybe feeling that way their whole life. And it's
Yeah,
not even their fault. It's not even necessarily the people around them's fault. It's just
it's societal.
yeah, 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 it is. And medicine, how long does
Yeah,
medicine take to catch up, to understand, to
right.
comprehend, to study? Women are understudied, etc. So, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So, how do you think that you've changed as a
Mm,
coach, as a business owner, as a woman
mm, mhm.
over these 200 episodes?
As a coach, I practice listening all the time because the thing about us is us meaning neurodivergent people, we have our own language. We have our own language. We have our own way of saying, doing, speaking that we understand in each other in a way that's just unique. And it's not like, "Oh, you're better and you're not." No, no. It's like things that somebody maybe a neurotypical would think is odd or rude or whatever. A fellow neurotypical neurodivergent friend or
Mhm,
ADHD friend is like doing the same thing back because it's just how we do something or process something. And so not having to explain those things and watching my clients get diagnosed, watching them decide to get diagnosed or to not, deciding to try medication or not, like understanding they can do what they want to do and they have options and that there is no one right option. I feel like my clients know that I am a safe place to land, but I'm going to tell you like it is.
We love that.
Right?
We do.
Like I'm gonna drop you, but I'm gonna drop you on the beach where it's a little bit soft, you're not gonna have a hard landing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, what are you most proud of, Carrie?
Mm.
What not just the podcast, but, like, about your business or who you've become through it, all those things?
I was listening to some podcasts earlier today, and they keep talking about quantum leaps and your next timeline and your next version of yourself and iteration and all of that. And all I can think is all we're doing is trying to come home to ourselves, right?
Mm,
So we're not trying to be the best version of anything. We're literally unbecoming, unraveling certain things, and then like unraveling parts of the sweater that have like these holes in them, and then doing them so that they're not as um, worn or torn. It's like we get to go back and change the way we see or feel about things that happened before through a different lens. It's just a different perspective, a better perspective. And everything I do is rooted in one specific doctor and not it only, but my favorite because he has a very positive outlook on ADHD. He sees the upsides while acknowledging the challenges. And I love that. And he's got 45 years in. So adults, men, women, and children. And he just has a great outlook and he has it himself.
mm,
And so I just since early in, once I kind of contended with all the wild emotions, what really changed me as a coach was allowing myself to process those emotions and still continue showing up and trying to figure out it and navigate it. And then finally leaning all the way into ADHD women and then the self trust. I had to trust myself to offer the deep dive to the first person who was willing to give me an opportunity to try it on them in a beta process.
mm.
One of the best things I ever did. And that was
Yeah,
me starting to trust myself. Huge,
I love
big
that.
pivot moment. But it's mostly my clients who have changed me. My clients have changed me the most because you guys stretch me and pull me and push me and trigger me and all of these kind of things that aren't even necessarily like real or legit. They're just like whatever's going on in the moment. And I've learned how to kind of navigate that in the moment and realize what things belong to me, what don't. And just all of those things over the last handful of years, over the last 5 years has made me a better coach.
Yes. I love it.
That's my thinking. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Mm,
So
thanks.
what's next? What's the next chapter look like? What's for the podcast, for your business, for you? What's
Ooh,
next?
yes. I am finally seeing so clearly that the self-trust issue that the issue that we have with trusting ourselves is a big reason why we don't simplify. And we don't simplify because we don't feel like who we are is enough to sell our services, right? It's like who
Mm.
the common saying, who do you think you are? Who do I think I am? Etc. It's just I keep hearing that over and over again. And I just keep saying, you're you. And if that's what you want, it's what you want. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's like I'm a why person too. I want to know the root of things too. But I also learned that there's times we just also have to surrender. And my clients have taught me also how to surrender to myself, to them, to letting something go for the day and coming back fresh, to practicing what I preach. That's the
Mhm.
other big thing is I've always really done that, but now I'm doing it a lot more out loud, like saying a lot more of the inside things out loud. Like the other
Mm.
day I was in some ADHD, like hyper focused kind of mania. And I recorded something and I could tell, and I put that up there and everything because the point was the point. But I also put a thing saying, this is what it looks like when I'm in this state. In a couple days, I'm probably going to be a potato. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like this all the time. Here's one part of how it looks on me. And in case I've never shared this or said this, here's part of it because it's not all sunshine, roses, and lollipops, but it's also not this thing that's going to run or destroy your life. You have choices.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what's okay. I didn't tell you I was going to maybe bring this up, but I'm hoping it's okay. So when I ask you what's next, what I was actually hoping you would say is that you're writing your book.
Oh, shit. Well, Father Mucker, you led me and I did not go. Damn it, Carrie.
Listen, there's
Like
so many things
for
that
one
are
of the most
next, Carrie.
intuitive people in the whole world. Well, remember, we're going on a tour and you're going to be my snack bitch.
Yes, I'm
We had the
coming.
conversation. We had the
There will
conversation.
always be cheese.
Yeah, there were cheese and bacon, bacon and
Yes.
cheese. Yeah, yeah. So I keep talking about the book,
Mm-hmm.
the book. It's such a tough one. Like, I really do want to write it. I'm like, how am I going to write it? I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but I'm hoping to have it by the end of the year. Is it, let's see, May 26th? Yeah. Let's put by
I
the end of the
think,
year.
you
Excuse me.
know, I think that
Sorry.
you are writing it and you don't even know it. I mean, you do know it, but you've been talking about collecting data on this. You can talk about self-trust like nobody I know,
Yeah.
especially through the lens of ADHD. And
Hmm.
so all that collecting and all of that information and all those things are going to come together. And one day, in one of those hyper-focused moments, you are going to write the damn book. Like it's just going to come out of you.
Yeah, I think I think I have the first couple sentences already.
That's awesome.
I already know how I'm starting the book. Like, I already know the moment. Like, it's so clear. It's gonna be like, "Fuck you!" Like, I mean,
Wow.
thank you, thank you. I mean, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, no,
At
it's
episode 400, you make sure that we come back and talk all about your book. Maybe before that, maybe 300. Maybe we can go back at
yeah.
300 and talk all about it.
Well, I'm trying to think. July. I don't know. I have to take a look at when the first episode was, but like, I still can't believe it. This doesn't feel real. I know I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm
Oh my
holding this
gosh.
microphone that gets tangible. I know I know we're having this conversation, but like I don't think until I wake up Wednesday morning that this is on and listen to it, am I gonna go, oh my God, it's really 200 episodes. That's crazy. Because I remember one of my favorite mentors when she got to her 200, she did like an entire like rebrand of the podcast and everything and came out with this like really killer picture. And I'm over here like, well, I just want to redo my intro a little bit and my artwork.
Let's
And
hope
I
so.
already did it. I don't,
Yeah.
I didn't want to wait till 200 to reveal that. But I
We can't let
basically
numbers dictate that to us.
but I also didn't wanna tell anybody what we're doing here. So,
Mm.
nobody really knows about this mystery episode except for that it's episode 200. I don't even know if I wanna, like, what I wanna call it. It's like episode mystery 2000 or 200 or something. I don't know. I have to think of
Well,
some
let's give him a treat. Let's
Yeah.
give him a treat in this one. I have some rapid fire questions for
Okay.
you.
Okay.
I love to hear your answers.
Okay.
Let's start really easy, this or that. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, definitely. If you were arrested with no, I don't know why it's so funny. If you were arrested, no explanation, what are your friends and family going to assume you got arrested for?
Telling someone they had ADHD and they didn't want to hear it.
We're ready for that information. It did not end well. Carrie's in jail.
True crime. My mom's listening. Oh, jeez.
Okay, would you rather be able to read minds but have to hear everybody complaining all the time, or be invisible but always naked?
All right, invisible but always. Oh God, they both suck.
They
God,
do. They
what was
do
the first
suck.
one again?
The one that would be able to read minds, but you can always hear everybody complaining, or you can be invisible but you're always naked.
The second, naked.
One.
For sure. I've been naked in. That's another day.
Well, it's maybe another reason we might not get arrested.
Episode 300, baby.
Did you ever have a really horrible hairstyle that you confidently rocked?
Yes, I was from the 80s. I had bangs so high they caught jokes, and I would tease my hair until it was mad. So I had hair like the front bang that went from one side all the way across. The other was from one side all the way over, and then I did a braid in 3 parts, 2 parts hair, 1 part shoelace.
That's
You've
I
seen the
feel like
pictures,
for
Brooke.
people who are watching
You've
YouTube, you
seen
need to
the
pop
pictures.
pictures up of that one.
You've seen the pictures, Brooke.
I know.
You've seen them.
We should put them on the screen.
I don't even know how to put them on the screen, so
I do.
Of course you do. You're like, I got this, Carrie. I got you.
You just
Send
send
me the
those
pictures.
over. We'll
Send
take
them on
care of
over.
that.
Yeah, could you just pop those into your little Google Drive real quick and just give me access? Just put it in our shared folder.
Okay, 2 more.
Okay.
What was your last Google search?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I think it had to do with like some true crime, probably. Some I was watching The Crash, so
Okay.
Well, it was terrible. It's terrible.
Put you on the spot. Best concert you've ever been to?
You're trying to ask me which child is my favorite?
I know.
I can't answer that question. Any Johnny Swim, Pink, when she flew.
Oh,
that didn't suck.
Magical.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Fire Aid. There were 30 or 40 acts. Half of the stadium was in one arena, the Forum. The other half was down the street in another arena. And half the artists were where we were and half the artists were over there. We saw Nirvana with Dave Grohl playing the drums. And we saw Alanis Morissette. We saw, I think, Carole King. Like anybody in there staying, like anybody you can think of, we saw them. And we were either seeing them live where we were, or we were seeing it live on the video. I think we saw 30 or 40 artists. That was like 5 or 6 hours. That's one of those once in a lifetime things.
Yeah, that sounds like something that like catnip to Carrie. 5 hours of concerts, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then I would say U2 in the Sphere.
Ooh, I didn't know that's about you.
Oh,
so good.
The Sphere is rad. Okay. Like if you ever get a chance to go, definitely want to do that. Yeah.
Then I will.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, 200 episodes in. What do you
Shit.
want the women listening right now to walk away with, knowing, feeling, or doing differently because of this?
Stop trying to act like you're Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas and put parts and pieces of other people attached to you, because you'll always be awkward. Be you. And if you don't know who you are right now, put your blinders on and figure it out. Because your own voice is in there. So find her. You have to tune out the shit.
It's perfection. I love it. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the 200th episode of the ADHD Entrepreneur Her to celebrate Carrie, past, present, and future. Here's to you, my friend.
Cheers, baby. Oh. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I see you. I love you. And I'm rooting for you always. Bye.
Bye.
I feel like the end of Smart Less right now. Bye. I've been doing it first. Bye.
You could harmonize.
Mhm.
Harmonize.
Okay, you go first.
Bye.
Bye.
It was beautiful.
That was freaking fabulous. We're going to be the sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Oh my gosh, so good. I loved it. That was great.